Hi, it's Buffy from Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress, right? So today I have an interesting podcast for you today. We are going to be discussing a woman's probably most recognizable trait, or maybe not, depending on your personality type. Ready to guess what it is? Stress, right? So this episode today is called Stress, Hormones, and Your Plate. How cortisol shapes what and when you eat. Do you ever notice that on stressful days you crave sugar or you skip meals? Why is that? Well, in this episode, we'll break down how the stress hormone cortisol influences hunger, cravings, and metabolism. And I will share practical tips to calm your system, balance hormones, and reclaim your relationship with food. Also, if you're interested, my first episode was on intuitive eating, and that could potentially go hand in hand with this topic as well. So picture this. You're running late, juggling emails, listening to screaming children as you drive them to school or pick them up or take them to any 100 million activities that they have, right? The kids are hungry, and suddenly you absolutely need that chocolate bar or that salty snack. Is this a lack of willpower, you ask yourself, or something deeper? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on cortisol, your body's main stress hormone, and how it quietly drives what and when you eat. If you've ever felt stuck in a stress craving cycle, this episode is for you. No shame, no condemnation, nothing but facts and strategies and rationale for all of this, right? It's not your fault. It's just not. It's how our bodies were wired and made. So what is cortisol? Cortisol is produced by the adrenal glands. It's part of your fight or flight system. Apparently, there are 4 fight or flight systems, right? Fight, flight, freeze, or I can't remember the 4th one, right? Sorry about that, guys. But it's just do you freeze or do you fight or do you fawn? That's the 4th one. Just remembered to think about it. So essentially, the normal role is to regulate blood sugar, inflammation, and energy rhythms. Well, the problem is if you're not eating when you're hungry and filling your body when it needs it, then you're going to have a drop in blood sugar. And your willpower might be strong, but it's really not a willpower issue. It's I'm starving, I've waited too long, my kids are driving me nuts, and I need to get something in my body, and I need to get something in there fast. Not to mention, I don't know what my kids had for lunch because they were at school or whatever. They were at grandma's or wherever they were. And we're all hangry, right? Isn't it Snickers? You're not yourself when you're hangry? 100%, right? So let's talk about the daily rhythm. Ideally, cortisol should be highest in the morning to wake you up, and it gently declines throughout the day. Chronic stress flattens or spikes this curve. So essentially, chronic stress is probably one of the worst things we can do for our body, right? Especially if we want to be healthy, if we want to be happy, we have to figure out how to manage our stress. Is it exercising? Is it eating better foods? Is it doing affirmations? Is it deep breathing? Is it we just need to calm down? And no, it's not that simple. If someone were to say to me, yeah, I know the remedy for you. You need to calm down. Do you think that anyone would feel like that is actually a remedy or actually anything but a laughable solution? Because it's so simplistic. Yes, we know that there are times that we get overwhelmed and we get overstimulated and frustrated, right? And maybe we should calm down. But that is not the magic solution, right? So let's talk about how cortisol affects eating. So let's specifically talk about cravings and appetite. Elevated cortisol raises blood sugar, which can trigger hunger, especially for quick carbs and high-fat food. Ding, 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 right? Which is why in that example that I gave you about wanting a chocolate bar or a salty snack makes so much sense, right? I mean, it's like our body is like, I am stressed. I am stressed. I am stressed. Now, this chocolate is only going to pacify me for probably, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 minutes if you're lucky. And then I'm going to be stressed again. And then I'm going to maybe want more. And then I'm going to, right? It's like this cycle. And so stress dampens leptin. Leptin is the satiety hormone. So leptin says, I'm full. I don't want any more. But cortisol raises your blood sugar, which makes you have all those cravings that seem like you have no control over them, right? And it kind of seems to come out of nowhere. But it actually can be seen as not really planning ahead. And that is not me saying that, oh, you made a mistake. It's your fault that this is happening to you, that this, not the case. Because how many times do you think that you have these errands to run? And in your mind, I don't know if you guys are like this, but I'm like this a lot. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do these 10 things in probably 15 minutes flat, right? I mean, things are so close together, and I could run into the grocery store and I could get what I need to get, and then I could be out in 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, right? It'll be so easy. Yeah. Until you run into everybody that you know, and they want to talk to you about everything in the world, and you really are like, I don't want to be rude, but I mean, I'm kind of thinking that I'm running out of time and I'm getting really stressed, and what do I do, right? So, been there, done that, got the t-shirt as they say. But, so it makes you hungrier, ghrelin does. And this is the hunger hormone. So timing of meals can also be very important. If you're skipping meals, I mean, you're kind of setting yourself up for the release of the rays of cortisol and the ghrelin to come at you. There was a lady that I worked with for a while. Her name was Leslie Ann. I believe she is now Refined Fitness, I believe. Look her up. Leslie Ann, I believe it's McQuillan, or Quillen. She talked a lot about the heck thing, where you're looking for, how are you hungry? How is your energy? How are your cravings? And essentially, if you are balancing things the way that you need to be balancing things, all those things should be even keel. It's when we don't pay attention to our body's signals, or maybe we're so focused on dieting or restricting that we lose sight of the fact that our body is an amazing machine. And it has things down to a science. And so we cannot fool our bodies. Literally many, many years of evolution have helped us survive. And that's why it is so difficult to lose weight. And that is also why it's not a good idea to skip meals. It's not a good idea to miss out on nutrients, because there's always cause and effect. I skipped 2 to 3 meals today. Well, I'm going to pay for it tomorrow, because tomorrow I am going to have raging hunger, right? That I can't get rid of. And I'm going to have to clean out my whole cupboard, right? Because I didn't eat 2 meals yesterday. But I lost 5 pounds, right? Your body's like, hold my water. You're going to gain those 5 pounds back. Just watch. So also, again, the skipping meals and late night snacking also has a correlation to stress-driven cortisol swings. As well, high cortisol in the evening can disrupt melatonin, leading to poor sleep and next day sugar cravings. See, all these things are connected. I mean, it's crazy when you start kind of thinking about that. So then next, let's talk about the hormonal domino effect. High cortisol can increase insulin resistance, and insulin resistance makes it extremely difficult to try to, lose weight at a healthy pace, try to get any weight off at all, right? And it encourages fat storage around the midsection. It can also disrupt estrogen and progesterone balance, aggravating PMS or perimenopause symptoms. It can impact thyroid hormones, slowing metabolism and energy. And if you are a hypothyroid sufferer, you know how difficult it can be to try to get weight off while you're struggling with hypothyroidism, right? It's like you're doing all this right, and then you have the brittle hair, you have the brittle skin sometimes, you have the brittle nails, you have the fatigue, the concentration issues, trouble going to sleep, the lack of energy. I mean, it's just like a treadmill almost, like a rat race. So benefits of managing cortisol are a stable mood and energy, reduced cravings and more intuitive eating. Again, if you want to watch that first episode I did on intuitive eating, they may tie together for you. Better sleep quality, healthy weight maintenance, and more balanced reproductive hormones, and less PMS. Can we say amen, right? So let's talk about actionable strategies. What can you do to help balance your cortisol? Balanced meals always include a protein, a fiber, and a healthy fat every 3 to 4 hours to stabilize blood sugar. That way you don't have dips, and that way you don't have spikes. Hydration and electrolytes are very important. Dehydration raises cortisol. Aim for water with a pinch of mineral-rich salt or an electrolyte tab. There's that liquid IV. I got some blue cotton candy recently, and it's pretty good. Sleep hygiene. Try to sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. Dim lights 60 minutes before bed. Keep bedroom cool and dark. Also, screens. Be careful with your screen time, right? Try to cut yourself off as soon as within a reasonable time before you try to go to rest, because other rest, or you won't have that. You'll have your mind racing and having trouble falling asleep. Also, stress reducing practices. Box breathing. 4 seconds inhale, hold 4 seconds, exhale, hold. Mindful movement, yoga, brisk walks, or gentle strength training. Morning light, natural daylight within an hour of waking resets the cortisol rhythm. Lifestyle and mindset. Say no to non-essential tasks. Delegate when you can. Digital detox. 1 to 2 screen-free hours per day to lower the mental load. And the mental load is definitely real, especially these days, right? So much going on, not enough time, always running everywhere. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, can we just go back to when things were simpler, where things weren't so crazy? Caffeine curfew. Limit coffee to before noon to prevent evening spikes. Let's talk about nutrition helpers here. Magnesium-rich foods, pumpkin seeds and spinach, relax muscles and support adrenal health. Vitamin C produce, such as kiwi and bell peppers, aid adrenal recovery. Herbal teas, such as chamomile or lemon balm, are a calming ritual. Calm your cortisol challenge. For the next 7 days, choose one strategy, like a 5-minute breathing break after lunch or a protein-rich breakfast, and track how it affects cravings and energy. I will say, if I had known about protein and its filling powers, I would have ruled the world years ago, right? But unfortunately, I did not. But protein is a game changer for cravings, for leveling up as far as your nutrition and your fitness and making positive changes for yourself. I'm not saying that like everyone needs to lose weight. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you want to level up in your life and have more energy and more positive things going for you, protein is definitely the way to go. Remember, guys, I know that I say recovering perfectionist mama, grace and progress. I say that because I would love to be perfect, but I'm not, and I never will be. And none of us are going to ever be perfect, and that's okay, right? And you don't have to do everything perfectly every single time you do something, right? All you have to do is put in the effort. Maybe be 1% better today than you were yesterday, right? No one is asking you to be perfect. No one expects you to be perfect. What it is small, consistent shifts done repeatedly. And these consistent shifts lower your stress level and create a lasting change. And before you know it, you're going to look back and you're going to say, oh my goodness, like I am literally doing the thing that I never thought I could do. I'm maintaining it. I feel better. I'm not stressed. Because stress is heavy. Stress is hard to deal with. Stress makes you moody. It helps like with brittle nails and all these things. And no one likes to feel stressed. No one likes to have a racing heartbeat, like struggling to kind of catch your breath, right? And just feeling like just kind of out of it, like, oh, I'm so stressed. Like I just can't even just focus, And so nobody likes that. Did one of these tips resonate with you? If so, share your calm cortisol practice with me on Instagram using hashtag #StressLessEatBetter. And that would be recovering_perfectionist_mama. And that is on TikTok or Instagram. And if this episode helped you, please rate and review so that more women can break free from the stress cravings cycle. And as always, I am Buffy, and I thank you for your time. And I hope that you will come back and hang out with us again, and that we can build a women's community together and learn women's issues together and be better for it and all level up together. Have a great night. Bye-bye.